So why are you gone? 'Cause I know that I need you right now, baby, please don't.
Just like an angel without the wings, you fell to me in my arms. Created sparks, must be a crime cause you're a pistol and I'm your felony. And with time, you bring out the hell of me. And a first degree, and the best of me. I'm a soldier, respect the life that I live, and the life that I choose to lead. Demons in my back with a blade to the heart. With you gone now, there's a shade in the star. If I could take it all back, but I can't scratch that, so I just say damn as I just look back. Military mindset stuck in the way. Light hit your body as you're chilling away. Pick up the pieces and feel the pain. It feels so wrong.
That's my anything, my everything.
Hey, so a quick little ups to my boy Schleben, I believe. Boss Your City. So, I believe Louisiana, am I correct? First one that sent in actual physical mail on the logo contest. Cool stuff. That's the old school. This is the blank. And this is the new school. Very happy. I'm not too happy about the mailman being negligent with the artwork. You guys send in stuff, right on front of it, fragile, do not bend, artwork enclosed, something like that, because by law they can't mess it up, because if it comes in looking like that, I can go straight down to the local post office and be like, yo, you know what I mean, that was a Rembrandt, dude. So, right down here, you know what, fragile, do not bend, and they won't treat it like this. Mailbox is definitely big enough. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting into some pre-existing work with the single needle tattoo right here, and we're going to go through that pretty close on this one, getting in there. What else? So I'm sinking a lot of needles in here. I'm just soaking these needles. Most of them are out of the package, so I soak them anyways and sterilize them before, right after they get out of the package. Anyways, big props up to you, Schleben, for doing that. Awesome work. This is going to be a brand new week, so I expect a lot more coming through, and I'm anxious as hell, and I'm happy. Alright, so let's get started with, oh yeah, I wanted to show you my progress on the mini mouse tattoo. Sorry I lost video on that, but I'll probably be getting that new camera pretty soon here, and it's going to be on a tripod, and we're going to be good to go with macro. Sorry I couldn't show the whole video of the mini, but here's a little what I've got so far. I'm not done with it. So basically this is what I have so far. Obviously I have not dug in the black around the ears and the head. I sunk a lot of the red. Okay, and it's been, what, about a day, and it's not scabbing too bad at all. I ran over this one at least 3 times for the video that unfortunately I lost again, my computer. But yeah, so we're doing that. We'll do some more up in here on the bottom of the thigh and up on top and around this area. Okay, so yeah, that's what that is right now. And when it's done and completed, it'll be good to go. It's not very irritated and red around the edges. No allergic reaction to the fusion ink. And we're doing good. Alright, and this one was eternal. Eternal red and fusion red. Okay? Picked up my needle and my tip. Make sure that you have the correct tip. Tip is imperative that you pick the correct tip. Alright? Not your grip, your tip. That's what's going to distribute the ink flow correctly, not splatter, no mess, things of that nature. So I'm going to be doing some pretty intricate work on my wrist, and we're going to be using single needle. And I will advise that the single needle is extremely painful compared to other types. For grip, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a smaller grip, not this one. So I've set my tube up and my tip up, and it's going to be the smaller one, because typically the more weight that you have down here, the deeper that needle's going to want to inset. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up now. I'm going to be using a Joey D again. I'm probably going to have to go back and forth. I've been messing with these machines the last couple of days, and I don't know if I like the, you know, what's going on with them. I got to look at the mini after she heals. Check that out, okay? Very important stage, inserting this into the tip. You already know this. This is for the beginners. Anything that I say that you guys are like, dang, I already know all that, just move on from it. You know what I mean? Once again, make sure everything's straight. And make sure if you're guiding it this way and not up through the tube like this one, it's impossible to get those grommets through this small tube on these Joey Ds. So I've got to put the needle through the, and see, here's a new obstacle right here on this new grip tip. I've got to lengthen the top portion. Lengthen the top portion of that. Give it some distance there on the main shaft or the extender shaft. So then you could go ahead and adjust. You're either going to have it hanging out or you're not. Typically, I'm not going to. These single needles are very, very sharp. Good boy. Oh, you
Good boy, Dad?
You are a good boy.
Yes, a good boy. You buy me toys?
Yeah, I'll buy you toys.
Hecka toys.
Hecka.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I need to put those in my closet.
Gonna be using Kuro Sumi. I shook it and sprayed everywhere. That's why it's all dirty. I'll wash it up next client. I haven't had a client for a minute. I'm gonna be using Really Red by Fusion. Okay, single needle. We're gonna be putting it in. Does not feel very good. This is the top of a beret, and the eyes are really detailed. So I'm gonna probably run back over there just a little bit. It already looks like a spot. That's part of learning, you know, body placement and tattoo proportion and size. You know what I mean? Obviously, the eyes here are too put together, so eventually it'll go into each other. But for now, I'm just going to try to sink some red in the beret. Okay? Single needle. Right here, you want to be extra cautious, okay? And of course, I wouldn't be doing all this and uncovered machines and everything. You guys understand this is just training, and I wouldn't be doing the unsanitary processes if it were at somebody's house or in a shop, okay? But a single needle, all right? Single needle grouping. Take your time, build up. As you can see, I barely topped about 2 layers of skin here, if that, okay? No bleeding, no anything. Single needle, be very cautious of what you do. I've still got a long way to go in single needle use, but we'll get there. Better to build up than it is to wreck. You know what I'm saying? I'm going over a vein here. Very light. Very light. Extremely light. Build up in those areas. Especially over the wrist. Get that stretch. Okay? And check your progress. Remember, over areas like this, you want to be very cautious, okay? Very cautious at what you do. Okay, and that red is getting in there. And I'm barely working the skin. I'm barely getting any, going over into it. I swear I just lost 10 minutes worth of work. Sometimes I just don't get it. So, sorry about that, guys. This is where we're at. You missed me doing some intricate detail around her eyes. What I was explaining was that I have prior work here. Okay, this dog is from Pinky. He's passed away now. It was a cover-up of a Playboy bunny. Same guy. In the late 90s, 97, 98. So the gradients from there to there is going to be deep, and I've done some testing in here, some scratching in here, and same with this. So now I'm cleaning it up with a single needle. It's about time that I do that, and it's perfect for these videos, and so that's what I'm doing. So right now, unfortunately, with the camera, that's what we're looking at. If it was in person, you'd be able to tell a little bit better, but I'll go ahead and work this area and make sure that I have that video for you. Okay, so every time you get a napkin, basically just spray that down with your green soap or your tincture, whatever disinfectant you have, so that when you're wiping your needle off or your tattoo, that you're not getting little particles of fuzz in there, getting it bound up in your needle. Okay, and I'll show you another trick. Actually, let's do that right now. If you want to, let's say you got some stuff stuck inside your needle, take another needle grouping and stick it inside the needle on the very bottom and go up and clean it out. I know you can't see, this doesn't focus that well, but you see what I'm saying? I take one needle and you can take another mag or whatever and clean out needles with needles. Okay? I've discovered that to be a very useful little trick. And that's periodically, you want to always check that, okay? You don't want that stuff getting into your tattoo, especially when you're doing like intricate stuff like this. This concept came, I kind of freestyled it on there. It came from Gaddafi, President Gaddafi, which is DOA now, or RIP. His elite guard, one of the girls in his elite guard wears a red beret, and I always thought she was pretty. And so I'm a military soldier, and so is she. She's a down-ass chick. So I decided to put her right here, and that's who she is. So I'm just going ahead and working out some of these scratches. And I'm not going over to the direct same line. I'm going next to the line, building that up. Okay? And I'm actually going to stain the skin here. You see this, what I'm doing right here? Machine is off, and I'm taking that black pigment, and I'm putting it in. And let me show you what it does. It's called staining the skin. Open wounds, open pores, and now I want to go ahead and shade that part. So I'm going to go ahead and take that ink, and I'm going to drop it into the area, and it's going to shade. And that's exactly what it did. It shaded that area. Okay, you see what I'm saying right in here? It made it a darker hue. You stain the skin. Real fast means real light shading. Okay, slower, deeper, darker. So now I'm going to work in the emblem area and the badge part on the beret. I don't know what I'm going to put in there, but I'm going to put something. This whole tattoo is going to be done by a single needle, FYI. I'm building lines. I'm going right next to the line that I just put in. I'm going to drop a little shadow under here, so I'm going to speed it up. And I think, yeah, I lost some video in here earlier, but I puddled up some ink on my skin on purpose. And what I do is I take that single needle and I dip in the puddle that's already on my skin. Instead of having to dip in the cap, I can puddle up on my skin and utilize that for, you know, dipping back into the ink and using some of that instead of having to dip back into the cap. What I'm doing now is I'm making small little tiny circles up that line, and then I'm going to go ahead and go line next to the circles and fill those circles in to make a thicker, bolder line instead of digging in too deep at too much of an angle blowing out. Okay, so very detailed in there. I'm obviously going to be a better tattooist in the single needle fashion detail than I would be big major pieces. I pay attention to detail, and I think that's where I'll forte at. So barely any irritation here, hardly any, and you can see how I built up some of these lines up right up in here. Okay, so let's build up some more. You don't need too much ink flow on single needle use. As I'm starting to learn, I want to do more technique with single needle because I'm more into the intricate, fine, detailed, precise work than I am big, traditional, you know, you know, flash or detailed work like that. You know, this stuff's kind of easy. Threw that on there and freehanded that real quick. That stuff's easy. It's this stuff that I'm really into. The real detailed, prolific stuff. Really fine shit, you know. Small circles to build up that line. Really watching my angles and my depth right up in here. I'm not going over that line, I'm going next to it. I'm checking my progress for you guys. Usually I just keep going, but I know you guys want to see it. So, can't wait to get a new camera so we can have up close and personal. But you can see the nicely built up new lines right in here. There's no blowouts in here. This is just a darker area where the line weight kind of gets thicker and adds dimension to the top of that beret. You guys missed the part in the eyes, but it's really dark in the eyes because of what was blown out before. So it's hard to build that area up. No, you guys can't see. Hold on. Remember, the lighter and the faster that I go over the skin, the lighter into the skin, pull back, and the faster creates my shades. I don't have to mix my inks. The slower and deeper that I go, the darker it gets, right? It's better to build up than it is to sink right off the bat. got some shading right around in that bottom area, so I'm going quite quicker than I would normally sinking that ink. So it's creating those variants. Alright, so basically, and another thing I wanted to say is that, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but this area is going to be dark. And you know, it's a little bit irritated, so it's a little bit red, so you're not going to be able to see as much detail as you will when it does heal. I just put some shading in here to bring the center core nose piece area out just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work the edges, and possibly in here this is cooled down enough so I can go ahead and hit that area. Okay? So yeah, I'll just start here. I'm going to leave this part to where it kind of sinks in. So I'm going to start over here where it's a little deeper. Bye, have a good day at school. And it's a beret, so it's not perfect under here. If you've ever worn a beret. We had to shave our beret. You shave it in the shower and you mold it to your head. It's the funnest time in the world because you finally get your beret. I wore my beret and I still have it. I'll show it to you guys. It's beautiful. I love a beret. A beret means you did something spectacular. You're a force. You're special. Unless you're in the army. Then you all get berets. Watch my angles into this area. Once I get that camera that Montana sending, man, it's going to be awesome because you're going to be able to see how thin of a line that is. It's a hairline. That line right there is a single needle pass. Thin. And I'm building up these thick ones with the single needle, guys, so it can be done. I'm beginning to like this a lot better than freaking mags and everything else. It's just going to take a lot more time. But I would rather have a beautiful tattoo than I would time, you know what I'm saying? Remember, shading, fast, circles, sketches, whatever you want to do to get in there, whatever your technique is. My outer ear. Watch your depth. Very important in here. A lot of blowouts when you start getting closer to that knuckles. When you do knuckle tats and stuff like that, you're definitely going to have blowouts. You're never going to look perfect, ever. If you guys plan on doing a tattoo like this, plan on taking the time. Okay?
What?
Let me get some shading up in behind the ear. Putting in some details on the bottom of that beret lip, where that leather band is. Leather band right in here. Technically, it shouldn't have been red.
Very bad.
You see how I'm dipping from this? I have a blob of ink right here on this edge. Well, I'm using that needle intricately to dip into that ink. Who cares if it's a little bit of blood? Who cares? It's the same shit once you get going. Blood and ink. So just dip in there, take from that area, and just keep going. Looks like I'm digging in. I'm really barely just touching the surface of that skin. Barely touching the surface of that skin when I did that. Okay. I want to stain it. I want to stain it this area. So I'm going to take a little bit of black ink with my fingertip, and I'm going to stain this area. I'm going to let it soak in. Soak in. I'm just going to leave it there for a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take it out in here just a little bit, and I'm going to stain just a little bit. You see how I'm doing that? I'm staining the red. So I did it red. People say, oh, you start from darks to lightest. Well, I tend to go off on my own weird adventures. So I colored it red, and now I'm going to drop some black ink in there and stain the areas where I want that shaded just a little bit darker hues. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute, put some A&D over it, let it soak in there, and then I'm going to work down here and let this cool off and get into this area now. Okay. Give your machine a little couple rinses. Get some more pigment or ink if you need to, and get at it. Okay. So I'm gonna work on this bridge of the nose area. Kind of like a shadow. It's not too defined. Maybe on the edges. So I'm not going to overwork that area. It's almost shaded up in here. Tilt my angle just a little bit more out. Direct hit over top. Instead of now up here, I'm just going to tilt it back, and I want to dig in a little bit, make a darker line, more profound. I want it darker in here, so I'm going to go a lot slower, deeper. Light it up in here, so I want that line. I'm going to tilt it back a little bit and penetrate the skin at an angle. Okay. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow right in here. Tiny bit. little bit darker in here, so I'm going to angle it up just a little bit and dig it in. Kind of like a weird little mask over here. I want kind of a couple little dark lines, but most of it's not, you know, most of it's just going to be shading. And shading faster, lighter. Okay. And the coil's just now starting to get warm. Not bad. Joy D, you did a good job, buddy. I hope my angles were right on that. Or did you guys just miss like half a segment? Alright, well, let's cool it off. Let's take the stain out. I think someone said it's illegal to spray before you wipe, but yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do that. I can understand why, you know, maybe just spray this down first and then wipe, but I've always got sprayed first. I don't know. Maybe that's just a, you know. So I'm going to let this area cool off, get it down with some green soap, and then apply some A&D and cool that area off. Let a little bit of the swelling, a little bit in here started going when I tried to get into the shading parts. So it's doing pretty good. No blood at this point, and and you're not going to have a lot of blood vessels up in this area. Just veins underneath or capillaries. So really, you're just going to have a little bit of swelling up in this tendons and stuff right in here. I guess I'm missing the whole camera. But right in this area where the cartilage is and your tendons in here, you're gonna have a lot of capillaries and small venous areas. So you don't want to go too deep in there. You just want to work the skin and kind of work your way in there. Okay. So this is a re-existing tattoo. So right around here, it's gonna look really dark. You're not gonna be able to see the eyes. When it heals, though, it's gonna look a lot better because all the swelling and redness is gonna go down. And it's gonna be good. So at this point in time, we're having some progress here. I'm just outlining and defining some of these areas in here. You can tell that it's not even red, irritated, or swollen. Too much dent. When you get down in here on this area, it's going to. Red in here is okay. And I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm actually using a shader for this, not a liner. Okay. Well, doesn't really matter. Okay, let's get technical. I'm using a 10 wrap machine with a heavier armature bar, a shorter throw, shorter spring tension in the back, to where it's got a softer front spring and a stiffer rear spring. My voltage is set at around 7, 6.5, 7. The needle is obviously a single needle. And what else? Oh, my gaps are set at right around here. Okay, so the angle of my contact screw is about the 1.5 position going to 2. So it's noon, 1-ish area. And my gaps are there. Okay, I've got a little bigger, thicker than a nickel. And the needle is coming out. Let's see here. You won't be able to tell, but it's hanging a little bit past a. It's a little bit more than a dime, but I'm working off the tip of the needle. Okay, so the Sanho that I did right here with the Rolo came out really nice. Okay, so that came out really consistent, really nice. Let's get back to this. Okay, so I'm still using black, and I'm using the Sumakiri. Yeah, that was backwards. I'm sorry, the Kuro Sumi. Been up all night again, doing work, doing schematics to all the inventions, and oh wow, the computer lid is now starting to lose its buoyancy. Great. Alright, let's get back into this before I lose my tolerance. Let's get back into digging. Scratching, baby. Oh, and by the way, my cat on the shirt, if you guys are going to help me design those shirts, the cat's got to have his tongue sticking out like blah, and it says scratching. That's what I do. Meow. But the meow, it's got to be like MREOWE, like owl. You know what I'm saying? Like push it in their face. Like, yeah, I'm scratching, motherfucker. For you kids watching, don't cuss. Just kidding, you're going to learn it anyways, dude. Do what you got to do. Let's get back into this. Wanted to say another thing too. When you're doing stuff like this, and you know what, don't focus on your speed of getting the tattoo done at this point. All you guys that are more advanced than what I'm talking about, you guys already understand. But you know, take your time. Take your time. And speed comes with experience. Okay, I'm still working on my hand speeds and everything else, and that's a big part of tattooing. But just take your time. It's better to build up and not damage that skin to get your lines to stick and your ink to get into the skin than it is to blow out, have a shiny gray tattoo that's all scabbed up, and we've all been there and done that, and it's hit and miss. You guys got to get a good machine. You guys got to get my machines, man. They're going to be awesome. Oh, there goes my lid on me. I'm just gonna freehand this second half of the air tubing over on this side. It's all going in. Huh? Okay, now. Yeah, go wake up Mia for school. Good boy. Okay, so I just sketched that little area out real quick. We'll get it in. We'll get it shaded and to depth next to the next one. Let me go and focus on the rest of the stuff real quick. Pretty much kind of bloodlined this area right in there for a rough sketch with the single needle for my rough draft, and I'll go ahead and perfect that when the time comes. Right now I just want to work on other little areas of concern, which is just building up these main lines right in here. Unfortunately, I wish I wish I had the proper machines when I first did this. It would look a lot better. These eyes are really detailed eyes, you know. In person, it looks a lot better than what I'm showing you here. So when I get that macro camera, we'll have a lot more in-depth videos. You know what I mean? Montana, I can't thank you enough, dude. If you're real and you really come through, man, I'm gonna fly out and see you, dude. We're gonna go have some coffee. So, or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and build up some more of this right in here.
that.
Cool.
Dang, I got this.
Let daddy work, okay? Yeah, they like to see that. You're playing the game on your mommy's phone. Okay, let's rinse and see where we're at. There's a lot of detail in here, okay? So this is gonna be a long video. I know you guys probably get the point by now. I don't want it to be too long a video. We're adding up on time, so I'll probably just either speed it up or show you the end and final result, okay? So I'm going to be working up this area in here, and then we'll go ahead and when I start dropping in some highlights and some shadows, I'll go ahead and record from there.
Cause I know that I need you right now, baby, please don't.
Call me cheating on the game and damn that's bad. I'm a straight street boy, so damn that's sad. But the hood without streets is baking soda. Birds without beef, straight bad, I know it. If I lose in this game, it's bad times two. I take the game out if I lose you. Nina Ross love ya, never wanna know one. Living like I'm on one, wow that's bad son. I know I did run, I wasn't telling, got me on one. But I'm a reject, but girl you the reflex. Girl it's a street right, feelings in a big mess. I'm feeling so bad, I can cash out a V-set. Bloodline, look at me and call it a knee mix. Think about leaving, got me swaying like I'm seasick. I wanna cry, bottle love, split it for my own switch. So you're my own, if I got you, we
That's
could
my
go.
anything, my everything, my life, my ring and choice, baby.